For decades, the Prince family has ruled the city of Houston with an iron fist, ever since J. Prince Sr. used his business instincts developed in the streets to launch the now infamous Rap-A-Lot Records in the late 1980s. As J. Prince Sr. grew into one of the most powerful figures in the rap industry, he became known for pioneering a practice known as checking in, which basically means that if you're any way affiliated with any street activities or gangs, as many rappers allegedly are, if you come to the city, you better get in touch with the Prince family and pay your dues. And if you don't do that, you better not think about stepping a toe in Houston.
The first time that I heard the word checking in, it was in relationship to Houston.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the blame for that.
Over the years, numerous stories have surfaced about the Prince family's alleged sinister checking in practices, with Prince even self-admittedly allegedly pressing none other than Jay-Z for not checking in with him when he came to Houston.
And they convinced somebody from Priority to go directly to Scarface without communicating with me.
Okay, that doesn't happen.
I mean, that's not the proper way. He pursued his situation, right? It didn't go well for him because he didn't do protocol-wise.
Wow.
The Prince family also famously banned 6ix9ine from damn near the whole state of Texas because he refused to check in.
Hey, what's 6ix9ine there? Y'all came to see 6ix9ine, huh? Where you at? Where you at?
But these examples are just the tip of the iceberg. But recently, this practice of checking in has raised a few eyebrows over at the feds. Checking in would actually be one of the very things that another similar street rap mogul, Big U from the Rollin' 60 Crips in Los Angeles, would eventually go down for in early 2025, as the feds would use his own words about checking in to allege that he was in fact extorting people who had come to LA. But the federal paperwork would also interestingly mention none other than J. Prince Sr., describing him as an FBI Houston Division subject, meaning that he was at the time being actively investigated by the feds in Houston. But this is nothing new, because the feds have seemingly had their eyes on J. Prince Sr. for decades, gathering whatever evidence they could in an attempt to put him behind bars. And this isn't just due to the alleged checking in practices, but also because of serious cases involving far more ominous allegations. According to one story, J. Prince Sr. allegedly sent someone to shoot up the house of a rapper called Big Mike due to a contract issue, with this shooting almost killing him. But Big Mike would strike back, trying to burn down the Rap-A-Lot Records headquarters, a stunt that landed him in prison for years, while J. Prince Sr. skated by without any consequences. And yet, despite all the allegations and controversy surrounding them, J. Prince Sr. and his family have so far managed to avoid any serious consequences of their notorious street reputation. But more recently, the idea of the Prince family being brought down by the feds has begun to feel more real than ever, and allegedly, it all traces back to one wild member of the family, J. Prince Jr., one of Sr.'s 3 sons that include Jr., Jazz Prince, and Baby J. In order to understand where these new claims are coming from, let's start with the most recent incident, one that many now see as the beginning of the end for J. Prince Jr., and if they're not lucky, it will be the downfall of the entire Prince family.
Get to them racks, get to that money, I wanna be ballin'. If you fall and break your back, don't worry, you can call Morgan and Morgan. If you've had serious damage to your body or internal organs, and you know it wasn't your fault, then you might have a case, you really might wanna call them. If you're hurt by someone else's negligence, you deserve to be paid 35 years of results, so you can trust them with your case. America's largest injury law firm, but not all law firms are built the same. Don't pick wrong, it's a big mistake, get the wrong law firm and you're out the game. They got more than 1,000 lawyers, so you know that they're ready for battle. With 100 offices nationwide, so take them a case to tackle. They recovered over $30 billion for all their clients, and the fee is free unless you win, so you might want to try them. I want to get to them racks, get to that money, I want to be ballin'. If you fall and break your back, don't worry, you can call Morgan and Morgan. If you've had serious damage to your body or internal organs, and you know it wasn't your fault, then you might have a case, you really might want to call them. You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan at www.forthepeople.com/traplawross. Link in description, or you can scan the QR code on screen using your phone camera. Thanks Morgan & Morgan, back to the video.
Content warning. This video is about a sensitive topic involving loss of life. We've removed any graphic content to comply with YouTube's guidelines. We aim to provide informative, factual journalism on a tragic event in the public interest that does not dismiss its seriousness. All clips are used under the doctrine of fair use for news reporting and analysis. Some points made in this video are opinions and theories. I am not responsible for third-party information. If you want to watch my videos uncut and extended, go to patreon.com/traplawross, where you can get those for just $2. Also, you can now watch my new drops on Spotify, so go search me there. Here's the video. A violent incident recently unfolded in Houston at the Confessions Bar and Restaurant, a venue known for hosting some of the biggest names in rap today. On April the 8th, J Prince Jr was out with a rap collective that had a long and complicated history with the Prince family, NBA YoungBoy's 4K Trey crew, as YoungBoy's right-hand man OG3 was out celebrating his birthday. Now, this link-up alone raised a lot of eyebrows, because many years earlier in 2020, there had been tension between NBA YoungBoy and J Prince Sr after a group of young goons broke into YoungBoy's mansion in Houston and stole several items. Not long after this, those same items somehow ended up in J Prince Sr.'s possession, and Sr. would post a video of himself on social media, positioning himself as somebody that was genuinely looking out for YoungBoy.
The little homie YoungBoy, the place got broke into, people went in his place, disrespected different things, and I got a call about it. And the little homies that went into this place want to make that right, because they understand that, you know what I mean, YoungBoy family is okay with me. And as you can see, homie, to make a long story short, I got your keys to your Rolls Royce, I got your keys to your McLaren, you know, all that shit that they took, and the homie, Shakur, what you got, homie?
You got your Rolls Royce umbrellas, you got your keys, you got a bunch of other shit. Get in contact with us, bro. Get your
But YoungBoy didn't see things that way. He would question why J Prince would take it public, showing off his stolen goods, instead of reaching out to him privately, especially if he really just wanted to return the items.
Hey, I don't want no friends, I don't want no new relationships. All that hey, I don't respect none of that shit, man. If you got something for me, man, I got plenty of around me you could call. It's plenty ways you can get in touch with me. Man, don't get on no internet and do nothing publicly. Don't do nothing dealing with no publicity, none of that. And I'm good on no keys, gangster. When you buy cash, two keys come with the car anyway. Mind your fucking business, man.
The unspoken implication behind this whole ordeal seemed to be that J Prince Sr. wasn't really trying to help, but really make a power move to show that he was the one who really ruled Houston, and that YoungBoy should be grateful for his protection. In the follow-up to that incident, J Prince Sr. would have some rough words for YoungBoy, still pointing out that he was apparently cool with YoungBoy's right-hand man, OG3.
You took my kindness for weakness, because you're a dumb boy with limited thinking ability and disrespectful. You're talking slick and acting like you and your brother wasn't down with me letting it be known you were mob ties connected. But I talked to your brother, and I believe every word he said about you knowing, because he's been solid with me. I've known your brother for years and never witnessed no weakness. So OG3, we good. But you seem to be dumber than a box of rocks.
The relationship between YoungBoy and J Prince Sr. would apparently be fixed a few years later, seemingly with the help of yet another infamous hip-hop mogul, Birdman. But as OG3 himself explained in a recent interview, he had been cool with Sr. for a long time, even before that incident, and he had since become particularly close with J Prince Jr. This would explain why J Prince Jr. was out that night, celebrating OG3's birthday, with the entire 4K Trey crew with him.
How did you smooth over that J Prince situation? Like what? Yeah. How did you? Like, I was like, this. He really went and smoothed that over.
Yeah. I mean, the J Prince situation. I'm being honest. Like, man, they really, like, on my side, like, just on a personal note, that's really family. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. The daddy and the son. You get what I'm saying? And I got closer to Junior through the daddy, so it's like me and Junior really like this now, and I was really with his dad at first. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
However, the birthday celebration would soon descend into chaos as a scuffle broke out between members of 4K Trey alongside J Prince Jr. and a Detroit rapper known as Allstar Jr, real name Jeremy Ford. His child's mother would reportedly be dating J Prince Jr, this likely causing tension between the two, especially considering the embarrassing videos that were floating around showing them both together.
Know that you won't know the big and better things.
Hey man, he a cheater, y'all.
Oh, that's mob. She made it. Oh. Hey, you are. She made it. Trust the process.
Hey, man, I'm glad you left her alone. I'm glad y'all had differences. Because I'm the difference now.
With all of this possibly being the exact motive for the attack. But whatever the ultimate reason, the 4K Trey goons decided to attack Allstar Jr inside the restaurant without warning. What followed was a ruthless beatdown where they were putting both hands and feet on JR while stealing his jewelry. However, things would take a complete 180 turn when JR would suddenly get his hands on a gun, apparently dropped by one of the attackers, opening fire with tragic consequences. This left two members of 4K Trey, Ben 10 and Dead End Ron, severely injured with life-changing injuries. Ron had to have one of his fingers amputated, while Ben 10 currently remains paralyzed from the waist down. Still, many were left confused when the first and so far only arrest in the case turned out to not be any of the people who allegedly started the altercation or robbery, but the shooter Allstar Jr himself, who many believe had acted in self-defense. However, the logic behind the arrest would seem more understandable when reading the truly gruesome events described in his criminal complaint. A security camera at the venue would capture JR not just defending himself, but also allegedly chasing his attackers afterwards while firing wildly in their direction. And most brutally, JR returned to Ben 10, who was lying motionless on the floor, and stood over him firing additional shots, with one of these possibly being the one that caused his paralyzation. JR would then walk away before soon returning and shooting more shots in Ben 10's direction, and eventually the only thing that seemingly stopped him from executing Ben would be the gun running out of bullets. And even that didn't stop him, because then he apparently went on to pistol whip Ben 10 with the empty gun and spit in his face. He would eventually flee the scene before the police arrived, but based on the brutality of these acts, many would likely argue that he deserved to be arrested for overkill or using excessive force. But interestingly, that's not what he was charged with at all. Instead, the only charge brought against Allstar Jr was a charge of unlawful possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. And this charge didn't come from the Houston police, but the feds. But in order to charge him federally, the feds had to prove particularly one key detail, that the weapon at some point had crossed state lines. So following JR's arrest, many believe that's exactly what had happened, that he had taken the gun with him and fled back to his hometown of Detroit.
You can take somebody's gun and use it against them for self-defense, for sure, that sounds like self-defense, but as soon as you stand over him when it's not an immediate threat, now we have a problem. Here's the other problem. I was talking to somebody who seems like they're sort of close to this case. They think it's a possibility that he left the scene of the crime with the gun and potentially crossed state lines with it in his car.
But in reality, JR hadn't even taken the gun with him. He actually hid it under a bar counter at the venue before fleeing, and the real reasoning for the feds to charge him was simply the fact that the gun model JR ended up using that night was a Glock 43X, which is manufactured outside of Texas, therefore fulfilling the requirement of interstate commerce. Now, while that technicality makes it a federal case, something about it just feels off. It's a surprisingly flimsy and thin reason for federal agents to suddenly get involved, and according to some rumors, JR's arrest is only a small part of a much bigger play by the feds, which might really be targeting none other than J. Prince Jr. But to understand why the feds might have been targeting him specifically, we have to go back a few years and look at a pattern that's now becoming hard to ignore, because this was far from the first violent incident involving J. Prince Jr. In fact, in recent years, wherever he seems to go, someone eventually ends up dead. J. Prince Jr., much like his father and his brothers, has been for years tied in with the Prince family businesses, which could include anything from boxing promotions to running a 1,200-acre ranch and of course the music business. That's what they're most known for and where they've been able to stay relevant for decades. But J. Prince Jr. also has his own brand, which is also a record label and the crew that he rolls with called Mob Ties. Sounds an awful lot like a gang to me.
When did you start the Mob Ties brand name?
I mean, Mob Ties derives from Young Mafia. I started Young Mafia. We used to call it Young Mob. I started Young Mob, me and a couple of homies. We started Young Mob probably early high school, like my 10th grade year. We started an entity where I brought all the different sides of town together and made one collective group for us to get money.
But apparently in recent years, Mob Ties has really become an essential rebrand of the Rap-A-Lot label, with Drake, who was actually discovered by J. Prince Sr.'s son, Jazz Prince, even dedicating an entire track called Mob Ties to the crew on his 2018 album Scorpion, a song where he raps like a real mob boss about how he gets rid of his enemies before shouting out Mob Ties and painting them as something much more serious and dangerous than just a brand or a record label. In many ways, J. Prince Jr.'s Mob Ties has carried the same infamous reputation that J. Prince Sr. built Rap-A-Lot with Rap-A-Lot Records. But in recent years, that reputation has taken on a far darker image, as people connected to mob ties have increasingly begun to turn up dead. In September 2022, an up-and-coming jewelry dealer from Chicago called Duke the Jeweler would join J. Prince Jr.'s crew to spend the Labor Day weekend in Houston, where in attendance were also other major figures from the rap game, including Boosie. The party also included some gambling, as Duke himself would post a video of them playing on social media, this including also J. Prince Jr., who was standing right next to Duke. But behind this seemingly harmless dice game, there was apparently something much more sinister going on, and according to later claims by Wack 100, who has become one of the loudest voices speaking out against the Prince family, J. Prince Jr. has allegedly been running a rigged dice game scheme for years, together with 3 other accomplices, one of these being called Lil Cam, whose name will later become central to this story.
He got 3 right, who rotate the dice. Now these dice is loaded. The tell me it's a named Wolf, Big Caprice, and watch this, and Little Cam are the loaded dice rotator.
However, during the dice game with Duke the Jeweler, things would go all the way wrong, as it was Duke who was allegedly handed the loaded dice by accident, causing him to go on a winning streak. And according to Wack, he walked away with up to $200,000.
There was a situation that occurred that a certain jeweler around and got past the dice on accident and was hitting all them for a couple hundred. They got irritated about that. I ain't gonna go too far into that story.
Now this would have understandably left J. Prince Jr. and his mob ties crew fuming.
He said the jeweler got past the dice. He didn't even know the motherfucker loaded. He just think he hitting. He's as mad as a mother because they like, how you pass this loaded dice on us?
The very next day, on September the 4th, Boosie, one of the figures present at the previous night's dice game gathering, was scheduled to perform at Houston's Arena Theater alongside Plies and Lil Keke. Duke would also attend the concert, where he would seemingly arrive wearing 3 huge chains worth allegedly up to $1 million. Around 11:30 p.m, Duke would leave the concert walking to his car located in the arena parking lot. But just as Duke reached his vehicle, 2 gunmen jumped out of a GMC truck, rushing towards him and opening fire, shooting him repeatedly in what appeared to be a deliberate attempt to make sure that he was dead. The shooters would then jump back into their truck, which was driven by a 3rd accomplice, and flee the scene. And while Duke was soon found by security guards, eventually he would be declared dead at that scene.
Now to a developing story. An investigation is underway after a deadly shooting at a rap concert in Southwest Houston.
The shooting happened last night at the Arena Theater along the Southwest Freeway in Fondren.
Police believe the 29-year-old victim attended the concert here at Arena Theater last night. Police currently searching for 3 people, 2 possible shooters and a driver.
As police noted soon after the shooting, there were no reports of any altercation beforehand, suggesting that the attack had likely been planned in advance.
At this time, we do have several witnesses, but it doesn't sound like there was an altercation. I don't know what the motive is for this, but there wasn't a fight or anything going on at the time, from my understanding.
Authorities also gave no indication that anything had been stolen from Duke after the murder, even though he had allegedly been wearing his expensive jewelry. However, Duke had also posted a photo on social media earlier that day showing himself with several bags, one of these possibly containing cash that he had won during that dice game, which he may well have still been carrying at the time of his death. But whatever the truth may be, rumors about possible suspects began spreading almost immediately afterwards, and surprisingly, many people started pointing fingers at Boosie, and especially his cousin, who some believed had been one of the shooters, as he had earlier posted videos of himself driving a GMC truck on social media, and even allegedly posting himself driving one the very following day after Duke's murder while leaving Houston heading to Atlanta. These claims would make Boosie lash out on social media, saying how he had just met Duke the previous day at the gambling party and that his cousin had nothing to do with it.
Hey, the internet, y'all got us all the way up, man. We met that dude, Duke the Jeweler, the night before. We was gambling. The next day, dude followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to rob him and killed the dude. What the hell my 19-year-old cousin gonna try to rob and kill somebody? Bro, we getting money, man. We getting money. That ain't our stilo. As a boss, I ain't letting that go down like that, man. This dude finna make me a piece. So y'all need to kill that. That's bad low, man. Don't put us in nothing with no bad low. It's bad low, man. Bad low, man. Straight up, this bad low. Kill it.
About a week later, Boosie would do an interview with DJ Vlad where he would further address the events leading to Duke's death, making some controversial claims like denying that Duke had been on a winning streak and instead claiming that he had been losing money like everyone else there.
Dude was gambling, they trying to make false reps like the dude beat somebody out some money, but the dude actually lost his money, bro. Ain't nobody really win, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude lost his money and
Boosie would also claim that it was Duke who had reached out to him about the concert and asked if he could follow him there. But what he didn't explain was why Duke somehow ended up parking in the regular parking lot while Boosie and the others parked in the VIP area inside the arena.
So the next day, dude hit my partner like, man, y'all got the concert, let us trail y'all, woo-de-woo. So dude went with us to the concert, and after I come off stage, everybody leaving. You know, we parked under the parking lot, under the arena where the celebrities parking and all that shit. He was in another car. He walked to his car. His car was outside the arena under where we was. It was on side the parking lot, so he had to walk to his car. And that's where the incident took place when somebody, you know, tried to get him or whatever. But Vlad, bro, if anybody know me, bro, that ain't my stilo, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Clearly, Boosie was doing anything he could to place the blame off himself, but this interview would leave many people under the impression that he might have known a little something more than he was letting on. But increasingly, there were also those who were coming to the conclusion that the much more likely suspect was actually J. Prince Jr. One of the first people to make these claims publicly was Charleston White, one of the internet's most controversial figures, who appeared in a podcast already in 2023 alleging that J. Prince Jr. and mob ties were responsible for Duke's death after their alleged dice game scam had gone wrong.
Everybody in there that night know what the play was, man. Everybody in Texas know what the play is. If you rapping, you celebrity, if you like the strip club, you like to do this, you check in with them, they bringing them bad dice on you. Why you think they Duke the jeweler, they really couldn't get him? That's why they had, come on, homie.
Unfortunately, Duke's death was only the beginning, and only a few months later, another man would lose his life in Houston, and that murder would bring the Prince family under the limelight of law enforcement once again. At the turn of the month between October and November in 2022, the Migos duo Quavo and Takeoff visited Houston. Seemingly they were there to spend time with the Mob Ties crew and the Prince family, as they could be seen in videos posted by Mob Ties members in the 5th Ward. This is an infamous area in Houston, known for its violent history, which earned it the nickname the Bloody Nickel, as covered by YouTubers like Brandon Buckingham. But this is also the place where J. Prince Sr. hails from, and which the people associated with the Prince family most commonly rep as their hood.
Yeah, man. We got a little bit of straightening going on. You feel me? Yes, sir, nephew. Hey, man, that's how we rock. Put that in the back. Hold on. Got that big old boxer back there. Hey, man. Got that heavyweight back there. Don't think we playing. Thank you, man. Don't think we playing, man. Hey, man. We got a little bit of straightening going on. Yeah, the biggest.
Following their visit in the 5th Ward in the early morning hours of November the 1st, Quavo, Takeoff, and the Mob Ties entourage were attending a private event hosted by J. Prince Jr. at 810 Billiards and Bowling located in downtown Houston. Around 1 a.m. the venue began clearing people out for closing time, and by 2 a.m. most of the crowd had gathered outside, including Takeoff and numerous members of Mob Ties, as well as Quavo from the Migos, who was filmed by people from the party having an argument with members of Mob Ties, the main person seemingly exchanging words with him being another Prince family member known as Mike Prince.
They know y'all, but they not gonna be disrespectful like they want it. But they not be disrespectful. You win. Man, I'm kidding about no basketball, bro. You just play basketball. You just saw me play basketball. Y'all just in the gym. Play like that, bro. Don't play like that, bro.
These videos would also catch the shooting that would take place only seconds later, this shooting tragically leaving Takeoff dead on the floor with multiple gunshot wounds.
Hip-hop fans woke up today to devastating news of yet another rapper gunned down in his prime and for no apparent reason. A spokesperson for the multi-platinum group Migos confirmed to the Associated Press that one of its 3 members, Takeoff, was shot and killed in Houston early this morning. Houston police say there were shots fired at the 810 Billiards and Bowling Alley in Houston. They confirmed one man was shot and killed and 2 others wounded. There was widespread speculation the deceased was rap star Takeoff, whose real name is Kirsnick Carey Ball. He is one of 3 members of the hip-hop group Migos and is related to the other 2. Quavo's his uncle and Offset is his cousin.
Interestingly, while the argument between Quavo and the others initially seemed to be about basketball, news reports later claimed that it actually stemmed from yet another dice game.
There's also much speculation the gunfire was over a dice game.
And the familiar connections wouldn't end there, as the news would also mention that one man who was part of the argument with Quavo was none other than Lil Cam, real name Cameron Joshua, one of the men accused by WAC 100 of being part of J. Prince Jr.'s rigged dice game scheme, with Cam getting the nickname Yellow Hoodie Guy in the immediate aftermath of the shooting, while all of the hip-hop media was trying to solve the mystery of who had fired the shots that killed Takeoff.
Somebody says Yellow Hoodie shot Takeoff in the torso. That's why he froze. I won't say the name. So-and-so peeped and tried to shoot at Yellow Hoodie and possibly killed Takeoff.
But what would cause the most controversy in the aftermath of the shooting was a video showing J. Prince Jr. just casually walking past Takeoff's body while other people were gathered around him trying to save his life.
Did y'all see J. Prince Jr.? Look. He's right there, y'all. J. Prince Jr. is right there. So people are going to take this and they're going to come with their own opinions and theories, and we knew this was going to happen.
Following Takeoff's murder, the first arrest would come almost exactly a month later, and it would be Lil Cam, who was taken into custody on weapons charges related to the incident rather than directly for Takeoff's killing.
Well, so many people are waiting for an arrest of a murder suspect. That is not what happened today. The man in question today was here the night that Takeoff was killed, and according to prosecutors, he allegedly had a weapon, but let's be clear, he is not charged with shooting anyone. Houston rapper Cameron Joshua appeared in court today on 2 weapons charges. He's accused of being in possession of a weapon at the scene where rapper Takeoff was killed. His attorney, though, was crystal clear on one point.
Cameron Joshua did not shoot Takeoff.
Attorney Christopher Downey says it's important to note that Joshua, who is on bond for 2 unrelated charges, is accused of having a gun but not firing at anyone. When asked if his client knew who did shoot Takeoff in the wee hours of November 1st, Downing says that's information that may or may not be shared.
We'll discuss that with the DA's office if we decide to.
But just a few days later, the alleged killer of Takeoff would also be arrested when authorities identified a suspect as 33-year-old Patrick Xavier Clark, who is also known in Houston as DJ Pat, another seemingly close associate of Rap-A-Lot and mob ties. But despite the arrest of the alleged killer, the case has moved slowly, and in the meantime, there have been some interesting developments that seem to imply that DJ Pat has some deep pockets financing his legal fees, as he would be the first one released on a $1 million bond at the beginning of 2023. Bond apparently paid by what the news described as a concerned citizen who was a friend of the family. But since posting the bond, he's remained out of jail awaiting trial and even recently earned himself a college degree. But that's not the only thing he's been up to, because in March of this year, he would also hire not one, but several high-profile defense attorneys in the lead up to his trial, which is set to begin in November. And this wouldn't be just any legal team, as one of the lawyers is Kent Schaefer, who just so happens to be J. Prince Sr.'s former lawyer, who represented him in the late 2000s when Sr. was accused of an actual criminal case by a studio owner, Ronnie Bookman, who claimed that he was set up for a beatdown by a crew of Prince's goons after he refused to comply with Sr.'s business proposals. He was beaten senseless. The case was looking bad for J. Prince Sr., as his charges would be upgraded from misdemeanor assault to felonious aggravated assault, carrying up to 10 years in prison. However, the charges against him would ultimately be dropped after Bookman's deposition in a civil case against J. Prince Sr. revealed that he had committed numerous violations of both state and federal law, with Sr.'s lawyer Schaefer at the time commenting to local news how the case had simply been Bookman's attempts to enrich himself at the expense of J. Prince Sr. Unsurprisingly, these moves by DJ Pat, including posting the large bond and hiring a high-profile legal team connected to the Prince family, have led many to speculate that mob ties and Rap-A-Lot Records may be bankrolling his legal team, and one of the biggest people pushing this theory is friend of the channel, YouTuber Seti Nash.
We have a dilemma. We have a crazy dilemma. We have a dilemma to remember, because how is it that you couldn't make bond before, you had a benefactor, a rich uncle, like they say, right? They say you got a rich uncle. All right, cool.
Right. Something hard to believe about that. But on the papers, it does show. So even though I find it hard to believe, it don't matter what I believe. What the paperwork says, it says, hey, this man right here who ain't Jay Prince paid for it. But y'all know how Seti Nash do, the hood lawyer for a reason. Jay Prince used this lawyer before as well. This case was about Ronnie Bookman trying to use the criminal justice system to enrich himself at the expense of James Prince. And his plan was exposed, revealed, and rejected. Prince's attorney, Kent Schaefer, said, ain't that the name we just got done saying? They playing in our face, bruh. Now, I ain't saying Jay Prince got anything to do with this, but if y'all recall years on before, the no order contact that had existed, remember, they had the whole entire Prince family. But after a little while meaning in the same damn week, we actually find out that no contact order with the Prince family had actually been released. So he could talk to the Prince family all damn day.
But meanwhile, back on the 11th of November, Takeoff's public funeral was held in Atlanta's State Farm Arena with a capacity of 20,000 people. While the stage was shared by some of the biggest artists of our time, from Justin Bieber to Drake, we would also see both of the remaining Migos, Quavo and Offset, coming together despite their very public feud that had begun earlier that year. That very same day, the Prince family would organize their own memorial for Takeoff outside the bowling alley where he'd been killed. However, this move would end up causing a major backlash, as many fans would see it as disingenuous and in bad taste to put it up on the very same day of Takeoff's funeral, while others pointed out how strange it was just how big the Prince family's names were on the memorial, using large floral letters to spell out their own family name, while the RIP Takeoff appeared much smaller, like an afterthought, just tucked in behind the arrangement in smaller text. So this mural was really all about the Prince family. A few months after this, Jay Prince Sr., as well as Jr. and Mike Prince, would appear on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast to give their side of the story. Mike Prince would begin by addressing his interaction with Quavo before the shooting, denying that the altercation had anything to do with the dice game.
You know, me saying I'm de-escalating, I'm basically just telling nephew, like, hey, it ain't worth talking about. He's like, man, you want to talk about basketball? It ain't, leave it alone, stop talking about it. Period, like, stop talking about basketball. You don't talk about basketball, stop. It wasn't about no dice game. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about no gambling. It wasn't about none of the things that the media and all these, you know, we call the media is trying to capitalize and draw a story that wasn't there. Because we had already been outside a period of time before that other conversation started. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the homies, you know, everybody went outside to smoke. You know what I'm saying? We just sit back chilling, then they went, you know, we gonna talk, they talk basketball. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know what I'm saying? You know, so it wasn't that type of situation or that type of energy to where you would feel like something had escalated to where it was supposed to be a problem.
Jay Prince Jr. would also give his side of events regarding the video that showed him walking past Takeoff's lifeless body, with him claiming that he wasn't even present when the shooting happened, and that the short clip only captured him escorting Mike Prince to the bathroom so he could wash Takeoff's blood from his hands after trying to help.
Just the crazy thing about the video, right, is one scenario is that they see Mike on the ground trying to help Takeoff, but in the video, Mike was right behind me. People didn't peep that. People think that I'm the one who had a voice. I mean, I'm the one who was speaking in the video when I wasn't. If you go back and look at the video, Mike is walking right behind me. They took 3 seconds of a situation where I was caught on video and turned it into what they wanted it to be. But in all actuality, we had been there for a while. Mike was following me so we can go to the restroom so he can wash the blood off his hands, and so he can enlighten me to what transpired.
But the most outspoken responses in the interview actually came from Jay Prince Sr., who strongly pushed back against claims that he had been connected to the culture of checking in.
Is there supposed to be a certain protocol for people to check in? No, and I begin with me, and then he can speak, and they can speak for the other generation. But I'm a never, you know what I mean? We don't have time for no sucker like that. You know, now a lot of people from the different police departments and all these different people want to insinuate like we extorting people, they have to check in. And that ain't no money in that. I wouldn't have, I got more money than I could spend.
And from here, Senior would go on attack mode, seemingly accusing one of the members of the Migos crew called Migo Bands for allegedly starting the shooting by attacking somebody from the Mob Ties crew during the argument and striking them with a pistol, with one video posted online allegedly showing him being one of several people holding a gun right before the shooting begun. Senior would also allude to Migo Bands lying in his testimony that he had given to the police after the shooting.
He's giving all kinds of statements on this police report we have, so we can read his name and everything, because he put himself in a position where he's cooperating and telling a lot of different lies, so we may as well shine a light on the real root to the issue, which is this homie, you know what I mean, in this paperwork.
The paperwork Senior was referring to included claims from Migo Band's real name Willie Bland that he had seen Lil Cam and another member of the Mob Ties crew carrying guns throughout the night. He would also claim that once the argument escalated, he allegedly saw Lil Cam say something before beginning to pull out his gun, which is why he decided to strike first. And while Senior accused him of lying, it appears that at least the officer who interviewed Migo Bands found his account credible, writing that the video evidence supported his statement regarding the actions before, during, and after the shooting. But J Prince's attacks wouldn't end there, and he would eventually go against the third member of the Migos, Offset, as there had apparently been some beef between them behind the scenes.
To the homie Quavo, ain't nothing changed where my love is concerned, where Quavo is concerned. So, you know, there's gonna come a day, there's gonna come a time that everything we saying, Quavo gonna have the opportunity to bear witness that this is the truth. But this Offset dude, I ain't gonna leave him out. You know, I'm just real like this, you know, because, you know, be throwing rocks and hiding their hand, right? They be throwing rocks and hiding their hand. And I don't like them kind of individuals. You know, and the truth of the matter is, you know, one can dance and different things in front of these different cameras and all that kind of and when reality, the truth of the matter is, you know, you wasn't really right there with Takeoff when he was alive, you know what I mean? So for you to be taking these positions that you taking, you know what I mean? And I got people everywhere, so I hear all kinds of things. I'm gonna just say this to you. Don't never put me in no position where, you know, I have to defend myself. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be healthy for you.
Offset would respond to the dissing soon after, clearly upset by how the Prince family had handled everything related to Takeoff's death, as well as talking about it publicly.
Hey, first off, y'all speaking on my real brother. I don't know what y'all got going on. Y'all speaking on my real brother. How dare one of y'all even speak on me and Tate relationship? I don't know you from a can of paint. Y'all know how me and my brother rock. You trying to clear your face. This your 5th interview. You done did about my brother. You ain't think about his mama. You ain't think about the family. We ain't said nothing. Ain't nobody said nothing but you. You man, who y'all think y'all is? John got it. Ain't nobody going for none of that, bro. I ain't studying none of that y'all talking about either. And if you heard something from me, I'ma tell you it's gonna come from me. Call my phone. Y'all going off of he say, she say. Then y'all to be this is who y'all supposed to be. And y'all interviews and it out on the interview. Talking about I said, call my phone, homie.
Just like the memorial, the Prince family's podcast appearance wasn't taken well by the audience, who saw this as just another attempt to try and control the narrative, while many on the other side also saw it as definitive proof that the Prince family really had something to do with Takeoff's death, with one person even predicting how the podcast would later be played in a federal courtroom. Takeoff's death would push the Prince family's reputation into an entirely new territory, with growing numbers of people beginning to feel suspicious that something deeply strange would always go on when they were around. But despite all the controversy and attention that followed the case, that pattern didn't stop, and in the years since then, even more people have died suspiciously around J Prince Jr, but unfortunately for him, the feds might not be too far behind. In 2024, the string of mysterious deaths surrounding J Prince Jr continued, but this is the case that's the most suspect of them all. What we know is that on the early morning hours of the 16th of July, an unidentified man was shot outside a Houston bar called Do Not Disturb, after there had seemingly been an argument in a long valet line outside the bar between two people. However, besides scarce news sources, it was once again a Whack 100 who emerged with explosive claims about the incident. He appeared on the Whack and Adam show on No Jumper with a whole new set of allegations that he claimed had come from a source directly out of Houston. According According to Wack's source, the man who had been killed was allegedly J. Prince Jr.'s bodyguard, known as Mikey Mike, who was reportedly shot following an argument that Jr. himself had started.
About a week or two, he starts an argument in the strip club, trying to debo some girls.
J. Prince Jr.
Yeah, Jr.
So he starts an argument trying to take some from some dudes.
Just like deboing them. You know, dude be taking and he aggressive with the women.
Well, don't say taking.
He got cases, bro. He got cases.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, seal files, all kind of I got the lady in Atlanta. He got the last one. She from come on Clubhouse. I spent some money and contacted her. But nevertheless, his security, Mikey Mike, right?
Okay.
So J. Prince Jr. puts this dude in a situation. He on some bull don't need to be happening. Next thing you know, boom, hit him in the face. Shoot him, right?
They shot him?
Yeah.
They shot the guy that they were trying to take the girls from?
No, they shot the security with J. Prince Jr. So instead of J. Prince Jr. going up here and handle his business, right, he get into all this. Now, he ain't the one shot him. He didn't want his man shot. But because of his dumb actions, right, he get his man hit.
Wack also claimed that after watching his bodyguard shot, Jr. left him at the scene, much like he allegedly did in the Takeoff case, apparently trying to flee to another venue.
He tracks out, runs to a club like 29 or something. They won't let him in because the last time happened with Takeoff, he ran over there and damn near got the club indicted. They're like, you can't come in here, we already got the call. Wow. So he go hides out, leave his man over there. Man could have been alive, but he don't, he tracks out to Atlanta, right?
According to Wack, the Prince family also refused to contribute towards the funeral expenses.
But this is what's ugly. I get the call an hour ago saying, Wack, they ain't contributing to the dude's funeral. They sent me the obituary and everything, right?
Interestingly, only a few weeks later, the feds would start doing several sweeps in Houston. One of these operations reportedly targeted an alleged gang that was based around the Prince family's longtime stronghold in Houston's 5th Ward. This gang was accused of robbing more than 20 pharmacies across Arkansas, targeting some of the street's most sought-after drugs before funneling the stolen supply back to Houston for distribution. But the location of the gang in the 5th Ward wasn't the only tie to the Prince family, as one of the 24 people arrested turned out to be a familiar face, Lil Cam, aka Cameron Joshua. And the connections didn't stop there, as once again, Wack 100 came forward with another claim, this time alleging that J. Prince Jr. might have had prior knowledge of the Fed's operation before it even begun.
But 4 days ago, I get a call from this chick. She say, Wack, get off J. Prince Jr. I said, what you mean? Get off on him? What you mean? Leave him alone. I was with him. I've been with him for a few years. He got a call. He stepped out on the balcony. I hear him saying, okay, what, 80 to 100? Okay, I'm out the way. He hangs up, calls somebody else and say, hey, get from over there, stay from over there. Then, they say they better come through. They talking about 80 to 100. So I tell the chick, he probably doing some dirty talking on the phone about some marijuana, some dumb, right? I'm on Clubhouse telling my Houston boys, yo, boom, 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 this same story. They wave me down. They say, yo, Wack, the feds just did a sweep and picked up 100 yesterday.
100 pounds.
100 people.
According to Wack, this could indicate that Jr. was in fact working with the feds.
So I'm sitting back and I'm watching the show and I'm wondering, it's a lot going on down there in Houston. The club scene's been torn apart. Thought that situation is what it is. And I'm asking myself, he's tied to Finesse 2 times, unknown rat, right? We provide the paperwork. And I'm asking myself, is this what the new gangster is?
So you're saying that you think that J. Prince Jr. was on the phone directing the feds to arrest 100?
Bro, ain't no way a female gonna call and tell me this 4 days ago, warning me, leave him alone. This dude is having weird conversations. I didn't think nothing of it. I figured just regulars on the phone. And then just today, I'm on the Clubhouse flow telling the story. They said, yo, they just came yesterday and picked up 100 people.
100 people where?
Feds in Houston.
These wild claims and rumors around Jay Prince Jr. have continued even during the most recent incident between him, 4K Trey, and Allstar Jr. Notably, in the criminal complaint against JR, the feds failed to mention who actually made the first move and escalated the situation beyond words, despite having a whole bunch of video evidence that showed exactly what went down. That's not unusual though, because as the agent states, complaints do not have to include all the facts known by the feds in relation to the case, only those needed for charging the person in the complaint. So they might have a whole lot of info on what Jay Prince Jr. was doing in that incident, but they're choosing not to put it out there. However, if WAC 100 is to be believed once again, the person who made the first move might just have been Jay Prince Jr.
Here go the bad part. All 10 proceeded to go into the location. Guess who was the first one approached and snatched the jury?
Jay Prince.
So, you're correct.
But if Jay Prince Jr. was the one who started the altercation, why has Allstar Jr. been the only one who was arrested? Well, according to WAC, the reason may be that the feds were never truly interested in Allstar Jr. himself, but instead, they wanted to put pressure on him to give information about the people who attacked him, specifically Jay Prince Jr.
I think they're putting this case on the JR dude to squeeze him, to make him want to testify against those that attacked him, because he hasn't given any statements. I don't think they want him. I think they want him to cooperate with them against everybody.
Right.
This same information was also confirmed by a Detroit OG known as Dogface, who said that he had talked directly with Allstar Jr. on a jail call.
So when you spoke to him, how was his energy? He feel like he might beat that case.
We beating that because it is what it is. Everything is spelled out. They trying to play it like, oh, they want JR to make a statement. If he makes a statement, it's going to trigger a bigger indictment with Jay Prince Jr. No, the rest of it.
Meanwhile, according to WAC's source in Houston, Jay Prince Jr. would have a secret meeting with his father right after this incident.
Houston back door. 9:36 a.m. I missed this Eastern time. Jay Prince Sr. had a meeting with Junior last night at the compound in Fifth World. Went up there at about 7 p.m. Okay, Jay Prince Jr. went at 7 p.m. and wasn't seen the rest of the night, and everyone left at 10 p.m.
And during the meeting, Senior would allegedly explode on Junior and make him take down a statement that he had put out on his Instagram soon after the incident, this perhaps implying that he was concerned it would be used by prosecutors later on.
Oh, and when Jay Prince Sr. saw that dumb false statement he put up, that put him over the top. They said he was mad as a mother, heated like ever before. He made Junior take that down quick yesterday.
But most importantly, Senior would allegedly point to the deaths of Duke the Jeweler, Takeoff, and the bodyguard Mikey Mike as already hanging over their heads, perhaps a suggestion that even Senior felt that at this point the family was doing too much for the feds not to close in. And this is something that WAC would also hint out on Instagram.
My back door told me that a couple days ago when he called. Oh, he was going off on him. Called him tender. He did all this beyond him. We got all this other going on. He said the Takeoff, the jeweler, the goddamn bodyguard that found dead in the parking lot. Now you pull this.
In the end, the feds don't move fast, but they do move with precision. They like to build their case over a long period of time, detail by detail, and not rush things until the full scope of the situation comes into focus. But for the Prince family, the years of federal attention might have finally turned into something concrete. There's only so many bodies you can leave in the street before the feds shut you down. Really, you can only get away with this stuff for so long, which means we may well soon see the downfall of Houston's most feared family.